Hi viewers, I welcome you to this Programming World channel. In this channel, we posting videos to help you to learn C programming language, C++ programming languages, and we created one more playlist where we posting videos to help you to improve the problem solving skills and how the problems could be solved by using the programming syntax also. Okay, viewers, in this video, I would like to introduce structure in C++ programming language. But actually, already I posted a video that's about structure in C programming language, and many of the people may think that structure it is what very similar in C and C++, but actually when it comes to C++ programming language, it's having an additional characteristics that also will be covered in this video tutorial. Okay friends, now I go to the discussion about the structure. So structure, it is used for what actually? In the sense, it is used for creating a new user defined type. In the sense, already we have discussed about the primitive types in our previous video. If you look at that, there you can find the data types in C++ programming language. But actually, suppose we want to access the data under a collection, so that time that primitive data types cannot help you to do just by taking them to do that. Okay, in the sense, the same data type like integer, float, okay, even you go with that, we have to create individual array and we have to use a corresponding index positions properly to access the collection. But if you put the collection in a single scope, then what happens is simply only one array that could be created to access your values. So that is the exact benefit of going with word structure. So it is especially for what? Accessing a collection of elements under a label. Okay, right. Then it is what actually, as I said, a collection of different elements to define a new data type. Then how it could be made? In the sense, we can go with the keyword like struct, okay, as we discussed in our C programming language playlist. Okay, so the same keyword is used here also, and the same kind of syntax you can find. Suppose you people not seen, in the sense, I request you people, the new new viewers enter into this channel. So please look at that video also to understand about the structure in C programming language. Okay, but actually if you follow this video, definitely that may help you to in C programming language. Okay, so the braces are used to create the scope of our user defined type by using the struct keyword. Then the syntax is given here. So struct new type name and the data type that has to be given for the different element what we plan to give it in our collection. As I said, it is what a collection. Okay, so we need to provide the data type of for each and every element whatever you want to give it under a label. So here you can find an example. Actually it is already available, it is in the header files, but actually I would like to tell you about how the pixel could be accessed in the graphs. In the sense, you can find this scope. Okay, this scope is what used to have the pixel data. So with the help of that, the computer graphics can able to access the corresponding values on our output screen. So here you can see that struct pixel. And what about the elements? So here you can see that the elements are what actually x and y. That is what x coordinate, y coordinate, and we have what red, green, blue. These are all what actually RGB color values which can help you, which can help the computer to provide the data in a required color format. Okay, so when you go with computer graphics, definitely these parameters are required to define what kind of color to be used for drawing the different shapes of the objects under computer graphics library. Right. So now I would like to talk about the role of dot operator in our structure, because you can see that we defining what the structure elements. Okay, so structure elements are what actually x and y, x coordinate, y coordinate, and RGB values, red, green, blue. These are all what actually structure elements. These are all structure elements. Okay, these are all under the scope like pixel. This is what actually pixel is a collection. It is what a variable. I mean, sorry, it is a data type. Okay, it is created under this label. We have what these values. So how we can access these values, because these are all what actually primitive data type. Okay, so primitive data type we have to use to make our structure elements, and when you go for what accessing, how it could be done, so that could be made with the help of what dot operator. Okay, so the dot operator which connects what both the variable which is created which is created for this data type and these elements. So these elements could be accessed with the help of what dot operator. Okay, so now you can find it. So syntax I have made it here. Okay, I have provided. So struct, you can see that. Okay, you can see that struct variable. So you have to create a variable for your structure data type, and you have to use a dot operator afterwards structure element, in the sense what element you want to access. Okay, that's the thing. Okay, beyond that you can find few things here. That's about what actually assigning values to your structure element, and what about the operations you can perform, and how you can do input output operations, which are very similar how we handle the primitive data types values. Because in the example I give like integer type of xy values, and also red, green, blue, those are all in integer format. Okay, so what kind of operations we can able to perform on them, the same thing could be taken into your structure elements also. Okay, right. So now I would like to tell you about the difference of structure in C++. Actually I told you already, the structure programming element, it is what very similar to C when you take into C++. Okay, but actually it is having an additional characteristics that we people have to know. Okay, that's why I made this slide. So here you can see that the structure which is in what C programming language. So far what we discussed, that is what very similar, okay, as we have it in our C. You can see that pixel, int, xy, red, green, blue, the same type. Okay, same example. So it is what actually in C programming structure, it is only what creating the collection of elements to create a new type. But whereas in C++, additionally it provides one more characteristics, that is what actually the functions. Okay, you can take functions also to your structure scope. So functions already we discussed. Okay, so functions, which is what very similar in C and C++, already it is posted in our channel also under the C programming language library. So I request people please follow that also. Right now I come to this. So functions are allowed inside the structure block. So what structure or user defined data type you are creating, the associated operations also you can include in the same structure scope. That means what actually abstract data type. Okay, so that time the data type what you creating using structure, it comes with what associated operations also in the same collection. So the C++ programming language, the structure which is having an additional characteristics as behaving what actually it is behaving as a abstract data type. Okay, that's a thing you can find it in our C++ structure programming element. So here you can see that in this example you can find it what I have made. Actually you see the type pixel as it is in our C programming language, and the elements also given. But actually beyond that we created a function like void display. We made a function like void display, which takes care of what displaying the values of this. Okay, that's a thing actually. Okay, so the functions are allowed inside the structure scope. That's a very different characteristics in our C++ programming language for structure programming element. But whereas in C programming language, the structure, it can take only what the programming elements, it cannot take what functions. Okay, I would like to show the example, then you can understand easily. So here you can find the structure in C. It is already discussed in our programming channel under the C programming library for structure in C. Okay, the same example only I have taken here. Okay, you can see that. Okay, please understand the same kind of thing you can make it in our C++ also. But actually when you come to what using like input output statement instead of printf scanf, we have to go with what? Console in, console output, C in, C out objects. Okay, that's only that difference you can find. The rest of the statements are what? Very similar, very same. You just copy paste it, you can create it. Okay, in C++. So I would like to show that what is the different behavior you can get it from your user defined data type by using structure. As I told you, it can become what? Abstract data type. That is given here. You can see that int x coordinate, int y coordinate for what? Point data type, where I have declared two functions. One is what? Taking the input for those two structure elements, and one function I have declared and defined also about what? Displaying the results, okay, for x and y coordinate values. Okay, so like that I have made it here. Okay, so in this you can find the dot operator which is used. You can see that the pointer the pointer data type, it takes a variable by using what? Variable declaration statement. That is what given here, struct to point p. Afterwards we just what? Calling the functions to take the input for those structure elements. So p dot input, then p dot output, it is for what? Displaying the results of those structure elements. So now I just execute that. You can see the output of it. Yes, it's happening now. So definitely there is no errors, and also there is no warnings. Now it's asking us to give some values for x coordinate. I'm simply giving like 200, and y coordinate value, that is what actually I'm giving like 300. Okay, now you can see the output x coordinate comma y coordinate is equal to 200 comma 300. Okay, you can see that the thing is what? Actually p dot input, that's a function which is called. Okay, this function scope will be called to take the values for x coordinate and also y coordinate. Okay, and p dot out, that will be called for what? Actually displaying the results of your structured elements after the input operation. Okay, I hope you people understand about the structure programming element in C and also C++. What about the additional feature we can identify or we can able to follow for implementing our user defined data type in the form of what? Abstract data type. In the sense, we can include functions also in our structure programming element for accessing the structure elements. Okay, the structure elements of the user defined data type. If you like this video, please click on the like button, and if you are new to this channel, I request you to subscribe this channel to get new videos whenever get posted. Thank you for watching this.